Hello, this is Crochet Basics with K.Jolie, and this is actually a prequel to the videos that I currently have up on YouTube. So this is for people that are beginners, newbies that have never really had an inkling to try working with yarn or crocheting. So let's get started. You're looking for a hobby that's gonna keep you off the streets and out of trouble and make you look super cool to all of your friends. So you think, hey, I'm gonna try crochet because it sounds interesting and exotic, and why not make scarves and hats for all of your friends and family for Christmas, Hanukkah, their birthdays, whatever it is. So you go to your craft store, your local craft store, and you're going to find yarn that looks interesting, and the first thing you're going to do before you leave the store is you want to read your label to make sure it's what you're looking for and that it's going to be easy for what you have in mind. So let's read our label. This yarn is a size 4, and 4/5 medium weight is perfect for beginners. Okay, and this one suggests an eye hook, which is a size 9, 5.5 millimeter US sizes, and then it even tells you how to treat the garment or whatever you're making after it's made. And it tells you how to start. If you want to unravel, you can do it that way, or you can pull through the center. Not all skeins of yarn are made to be pulled out from the center, but this one is, so that's perfect for us. Okay, so you're gonna buy your yarn. You're going to buy your hook that goes with your yarn. The suggested size is perfect for beginners because they know what they're talking about. And so let's get started. You take your yarn home. You bought your hook. So this is an eye hook, and I always suggest a metal aluminum hook for beginners because it doesn't have a lot of give, and sometimes the plastic ones have like a lot of bend in them. So your stitches will be wonky and not even. Okay, so you get home, you got your beautiful yarn, you're rearing to go, and let's get going. All right, so I'm pulling through the center. Sometimes it's a little hard to find the start when it's pulling through the center, but you know, it's there. Sometimes you just have to dig it out. So you want to pull out a few feet of yarn, not too much to get started with, you know, because you'll pull more as you go. And I hold underhand. And you always want to be comfortable with the way you hold your hook. Okay, some people hold overhand, and the way you hold your hook is going to dictate how you're holding your yarn. So because I'm underhand, I wrap it around my index finger and I hold it with my pinky, so when it pulls up, my pinky is doing the work for me. Okay, so the most basic thing in crochet, any kind of project you make, is going to have a foundation row, a chain of some sort. So it is the most basic part. It's your legs to stand on. So your chaining and your tension are very important because you want it to be smooth and as even as possible. Okay, so I don't use a slip knot. I cross my yarn over my hook and I make a loop, a loose loop around my hook. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna make our loop, pick up some yarn, pull it through, and that's your very first chain. Okay, and we're gonna do it again. Pull up some yarn, and you don't want to pull it too tight because then when you go back to work your stitches, you're gonna have to fight to get the hook into it. So let's keep pulling through and try and get it as even as possible. I know you're a beginner, so, you know, be patient with it. You don't want to get discouraged. You don't want to get frustrated with it because it really is a great hobby. Some people do turn it into a profession. They write patterns for people like me and you, and they sell their patterns or they put them in magazines and stuff, give them away free, what have you. And also people do sell hats and bags and purses and baby blankets and such. Okay, so we're just going to chain a few more, and as steady as you can, you know, you want to hold it not too tight. The yarn should flow smoothly through your fingers. It shouldn't be a fight, and it shouldn't be like pulling through and then like, woo, my stitch is crazy. It should just be as smooth as possible. Okay, so, and it's very forgiving crochet. If you drop a stitch, it's always easy. As long as it's not really like a fluffy furry yarn, it's always easy to find where your stitch is gone too and pick it back up. Okay, so after we've done some chains, we've made our loops, we've made our braid, okay, we're going to go back and do a single crochet. A single crochet is the most basic stitch you could possibly do in crochet as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to skip our first chain from the hook. Okay, so the yarn on the hook, you're going to kind of ignore it because this one right here next to the chain, that's our first chain from the hook. So we're going to skip that. We're going to insert the yarn into one side of our braid. We're going to yarn, pick it up, pull up a loop. You have two. Then pull up some yarn again, pull through both, and boom, you just did your very first single crochet. So let's do it again. We're going to insert the hook in one side of our braid. We're going to pull up some yarn, making our first loop. Then we're going to pull up some more yarn, pull through both loops, and there you go. That's your second crochet. You are totally rocking it, okay? So let's keep going, pulling through one side of your braid and pulling up the loops, okay? So it should just be as even as possible. You don't want to pull your stitches too tight because then later on it'll be a fight to get the hook through to pull up, and it could make it uneven, and you want it to just be as smooth as possible. So let's pull some more yarn here and keep this going. This is great for beginners to if you usually beginners, your first project is going to be a scarf of some size, or like a placemat. Something flat and even is usually your first project when you learn how to crochet. It just seems to work out that way, and it's perfect because you practice your stitches and your tension as you're making a scarf, because you'll see the stitches, if you're picking up extra stitches or if you're dropping them, the scarf itself will go in a diagonal out if you're picking up stitches and a diagonal in if you're dropping stitches. Okay, so let's work the rest of our stitches as evenly as possible. So I hope you're learning something here. So we'll just work these. I know I'm a little chatty, but I'm excited if you're learning something. So, and I'm happy to be making these videos if you're learning something. So in my last one, where I did my crossover, where I started, you're going to insert the hook through the crossover, pull up a loop, okay, pull through both, pull your tail tight so that it doesn't get in the way later. Then you're going to chain one because it's a short stitch, it's compact. Okay, you're going to skip the chain you just made, insert your hook into your first braid, which is the single crochet you made, right, both sides, pull up a loop, pull through again. And at the end, you'll always want to do a chain one, skip that chain, and start working in the stitch you made from the previous row. And that's after you get the first 2 rows of crochet done. So if you're going to try and read a pattern, CH is a chain, and SC is a single crochet. So I hope this is good. I'm trying to go as slow as possible without taking up too much of your time, and hopefully you're learning something. It's a great hobby. As I've said, people make it a profession, and it's nice. Handmade gifts are always nice, I think, because it shows that you put the time and effort into making something instead of just running out to the store and buying any old thing or what have you, you know. So when we come to our end, okay, you're going to insert the hook through both sides. Now this is actually your chain. That's the first chain that you made, and this is for the first 2 rows. Okay, so you're going to pull through, all right, and pull through, work it as a stitch, a regular stitch. You're going to chain 1. So I hope this is helpful. This is what it looks like from both sides, okay? So that's how it, if once you get your tension and everything is even and flowing smoothly and all of that, you'll get the hang of it. It's great. Your hands should always be comfortable. You don't want them to cramp up, you know, so try different yarns, try different hook sizes and different ways of holding your hook until you're comfortable. You want to be comfortable. And let me tell you, hooking crochet, it keeps you off the streets, and everyone thinks you're super cool because you're making stuff with your hands, and you're giving everybody homemade gifts and such. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please post them. And as always, happy hooking because it keeps you off the streets. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Please subscribe and check out my other videos if you get a chance. Have a good one. Bye.